We're having a Waterton picnic again at our favorite picnic table. And there's James's sandwich. It's divided in two.
Open face, yeah.
There's blueberry yogurt, some mandarin, some green machine, some of this ginger root beer. I don't know how that'll be. Some chocolate, blueberries and blackberries. I'm having this. We're both having that.
The effervescent.
The dogs and James are having this. And I'm having some of that. So that's our picnic for today. And James is going to talk about, I guess, the Bible.
Well, I think it'll be educational if you talk about it too, because it's important to get perspective from just other perspectives. Because I'm sure your perspective is
probably
quite
have a
different
lot of
from mine.
sunblock
I
and
get
sweat in my
much
hair.
more out of it, I think, than you ever would. Not a reflection on you. I just
I gotta get the
specialize in
opposite.
nature.
You want carrot? He says yes. Opie, do you want carrot too?
He says yes.
Oh, sorry.
That's
Opie.
for Opie. He's not that enthused.
No, he wasn't last time either, which is weird because... Oh, I'll drink this first. Anyway, so we've been going through the Old Testament on... Well, it's on DVD. So they've managed to put all of the Old Testament on one DVD. And then the New Testament's on one DVD. Well, and I don't know why they did it that way. I guess
there's a huge difference in
I know.
length.
It's a huge difference in length, but I guess they were thinking, well, it's a huge difference in content, really, or whatever, right?
Well,
like they're very different.
That.
But
people are going around saying there's continuity there. They got no clue. They don't know what they're talking about.
So, you want me to put it in with this much water in it? Yeah.
Is that too much water?
Well, maybe. We'll drink a little bit, and then I just put it in just this much water, and then it's really flavorful. But you can do what you like. So, then you want to close it again, or what? That's up to you.
Won't make
anyway,
much difference, I think. Sorry for burping on screen,
I think it's very important to go through the Old Testament for all Christians, even though really Christianity is about the New Testament. But you need the Old Testament there so that you go, wow, Jesus and his disciples were so awesome. They were revolutionary, some may say. James does not, because he doesn't like the word revolution, because they were peaceful. They weren't killing people or whatever. But
they can be peaceful and kill people if people attack you.
Yeah.
Like the United States traditionally has been peaceful.
Yeah, but they didn't even do that.
They didn't do that, they just died.
Yeah. So it really is, you need the Old Testament so that you see just how good the New Testament is. So you see how good. See, what it gives you some, it gives the story context. So it's important. So anyway, we've gone through the Old Testament, which some of the stories are interesting and everything, and some of it it's whoa. Right now we're going through Psalms and yeah. Anyway, James, go ahead and talk about it.
At least the Psalms is poetry.
Yeah. Jeez, I should have eaten it like you're eating it. I made them really thick. And now I'm going to have a hard time making the stuff stay on my sandwich. Oh, it's so good.
So the Psalms are real poetry. They are song lyrics. That's what real poetry is. Sorry, folks. All you folks that have been indoctrinated, and have been indoctrinated people, you have this stupid idea that real poetry is free verse, and this other stuff is just verse, and it's inferior. By definition, not somehow inferior, it's just inferior. No. It's just garbage. So the Psalms largely are written by David. It points out, oftentimes, this is written to the tune of such and such. Okay. It's supposed to be tunes. And the received opinion is, like there was no regular rhythm or stuff like that. If you're writing something to a tune of something, there have to be a regular rhythm. Find out what it is. I think the Masoretes got it wrong. That's been the story of today. Dropping things.
He's been doing it all day. I feel bad for you because I know how good the sandwiches are.
My back's hurting.
Wow. Most of that isn't touching the cut that part off and wash the tomatoes. And do you want to do that?
Oh, of course. I don't want to waste it.
Okay, go ahead and talk about the stuff more. I'll try to work on your sandwich because I feel so bad for you because it's yummy. That's the thing. Like, I'm just eating the heels off my Carbonaut bread, and it tastes so awesome. And I hate heels, but don't do it. It's just that we've been hiking, and I knew that they would taste good because.
Yeah, when you burned up that many
when
calories.
you're exactly.
How many hours did we put in? I think it was 6 hours. Might not seem like a lot, but neither of us are spring chickens anymore.
I'll just put that away. Now that's the problem with this cute little thing, is if I put it away, then I have to wash all of the utensils.
Yeah. Even if you use one.
Even if I use one. There you go, baby. He loves it. Okay, you don't want tomatoes on that one? Because I can wash them.
I'll just eat them separately.
Okay.
I'm not hungry.
Okay. All right. So Psalms.
Anyway, some people think it's really sophisticated, the parallelism to be found in them. And they keep
really
thinking
juicy
it's
now.
an organizing principle.
Sorry.
And so Walt Whitman used that sort of thing. Folks, Walt Whitman is not even a poet, and he's not even a good stylist. I sing the body electric. I mentioned it before. You're going to hear it any number of times. It's I sing the electric body. That's the way you talk English.
You talk English.
Well, that's just the way it is. If a linguist ran across I sing the electric body, they'd put an asterisk by it. What does that asterisk mean in that context? It means not grammatical. When you're talking or writing English, and it isn't grammatical, it's not English. Unless you're like writing a novel and kind of rendering the way a person would speak or think or whatever under stress, or if they couldn't handle the language. So, Walt Whitman's garbage. I remember my brother laughing at his imagery. My brother was saying, my brother got a PhD in English, taught English at York University. He was saying, boy, about the limits of his metaphoric power or power of simile was to compare the hair on young men's chests to, hopefully they're over 18 years old, to grass leaves. Yeah, and I had to agree with my brother. That's pretty pallid, really, but that's Walt Whitman for you. Now, my main criticism of the Psalms is King David wrote many of them, the lyrics. Many of them he didn't write the tunes to. It's said in the introduction to a particular Psalms, written to the I don't know if they exactly say two, but on the paradigm of such and such a thing. Be a songwriter. And he's saying, my enemies are evil. They're liars and murderers. I'm going, well, King David was a murderer and something like a liar. Talking down adulterers. Guess who was an adulterer? And actually killed off, he actually had a child. He didn't survive childbirth or something like that, or didn't survive it long. Died very, very young by the woman he was having adultery with, or enjoying adultery with. And then he had her husband killed. His name was Uriah. Her name was Bathsheba. So here he is. What a hypocrite. You know, like, you take care of me from my enemies, because they're all liars and adulterers and murderers and stuff like that. Wow. I can see Jews lapping it up, but because he was their most powerful king. But Christians who lap it up are just being stupid. I should mention another reason why it's important for Christians too. Read the Old Testament is Jesus especially is quoting from the Old Testament. So when he's on the cross, according to the account, he said something like Eli, Eli, sabachthani, something like that. And that's Hebrew. It wouldn't be his native language. I think they spoke Aramaic there by the time Jesus came around. I think Hebrew is a dead language. But that means my God, why have you forsaken me? Why hast thou forsaken me? So and that's not the only place where he's quoting this stuff. And it's important. Get it into context. Sorry, folks, I'm thirsty. Now, yes, I know pop makes you thirstier, but I wonder what they put in there that makes you thirstier. Because you want to drink more. You think
Really? I never want to drink more.
Pauline doesn't like sweet very much.
No, I don't.
Maybe it's the sugar. Sugar is...
Well, it's not in this one. There's no sugar,
Or stevia.
no carbs at all.
Holy smokes. That's what I'll be craving, just a bunch of carbs. I'll have to have several other things, like are there carbs in the... Yeah, look at that chocolate.
You're having so much. Blueberries, blackberries, which are turning to juice in the bag. Yeah. I guess I had them under something. Oh, I had them under the carrots. Silly. I was very tired when I was packing the cooler at 4 in the morning.
I think it's maybe best to pick the top ones out, and would you be able to make a smoothie out of the bottom? Because they're not grungy.
At least I didn't put them under the pop, I don't think.
Yeah. Things happen. You're saying you're tired right from the get-go, right?
But I'm glad you came. What a perfect hiking day. Horseshoe was more. There were more flowers there than I thought there'd be.
Tons of crocuses. It was crocus country today.
Yeah.
Because some were turning white and kind of splaying open. That means I think they're like wild roses.
And some of them were so purple they looked like purple grapes or something, like great tops.
And some were still coming on down the line. It might be hard to find a better day for seeing as many crocuses up there.
Past flowers.
What was that?
Nothing. It's awesome.
And there weren't too many others. What color are glacier lilies?
The yellow one?
There were some phenomenal glacier lilies there. I think they were kind of late. But
No.
right? They didn't look late. In other words, they were spectacular. Ones I saw. You saw a herd of elk, right? Or deer.
Well,
I just saw one. It looked like a male deer. I was going, where are the horns? But it was just a female elk.
That's really tasty. Yeah, ginger root beer's good.
It's not bad. Zevia, I think it's called.
Really carbonated, which hurts.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's good. That's some good stuff. Oh, sorry, honey. He's
He
wrapped
wants
right
more.
up on me because he's like, I want more carrots.
More carrots. Do you want more carrots, Opie? He licked his lips.
Oh, really? Sorry, Opie. I didn't know.
The reason why I didn't go for that other one is because he was lying down and it was a ways away from him and he didn't want to move for it.
Okay. Anyway, so Bathsheba, I think you were at.
Well, so, David's supposed to be this hugely attractive individual?
Yeah.
I don't know. The penalty, and wasn't it death for murdering someone? Why do these central figures get away with it?
I don't know.
So, Moses killed 3,000 people for worshiping the golden calf. Who commissioned the calf in his absence? Oh, it was Aaron, his brother. And Aaron survived it. 3,000 people had to die. According to the count. I don't think it's that many, but... yeah. You folks who think that that's all, not even legend, but myth, wake up and smell the coffee. Moses would have existed, so did Aaron. 10 plagues happened. It's recorded, I won't say around the world, but in 3 different continents, okay? From one end of Asia to the other. Also in Greece and in Egypt. Joseph is recorded by function in the Egyptian records. Wake up and smell the coffee. Anyway, there's much to be had from there if you're interested in history, because there are passages that are definitely historical. The main thrust of the whole collection of books that make up the Old Testament or Hebrew Scripture, whatever you want to call it or don't want to call it, is not historical. There are definitely historical passages. Really, I don't know if it's much worse when it comes down to a foundation for chronology than the Egyptian stuff. The Egyptian stuff is totally rootless. So would the Hebrew stuff if it didn't overlap with the Assyrian stuff. But guess what? It overlaps with the Assyrian stuff. The Egyptian stuff, the way they interpret it, doesn't. The Hebrew chronology is better than the Egyptian one. Because you can correlate it with the Assyrian.
I should show you some of this stuff because I didn't show you the dietary whatever. So the carbs on Carbonaut, if you're not familiar with it, are very low. You take the fiber and you subtract it from the carb and you get 2 grams net carbs per 2 slices. This stuff you can see, that's nothing. But there's no food value there either. This one's Caramel Crunch Alani protein bar. And this one's actually a bit higher. So 16 grams of protein. You have 18 grams of carbs, but you subtract the sugar, alcohol, and the fiber from that. And so then you end up with 9 grams of carbs in that Alani bar. So when you compare that to James's chocolate bar, he has 14 grams of carbs per 3 squares. And he has 62 minus 6 grams of carbs for this smoothie. So for the green machine. So much more carbs. So anyway, there you go. That's the meal. And I guess James is going to continue to talk about the Bible.
Well, let's talk about Proverbs.
Okay.
You were noticing interlude, right? They're in the
Oh,
middle of a one, not Proverbs, but Psalms.
Psalms.
In the middle of a psalm, all of a sudden they
Yeah.
say interlude. And you
Yeah.
say, well, I've already taken an interlude. I've dozed off. No, it's not that bad.
And no, it was like in the middle of a sentence. There was an interlude or whatever.
that was one particular instance. I think interlude's a very bad translation.
And so then I sang a little bit and to James, and I said it would have been like this, and it just would have been a sustain, right? They would have. What was the passage? Do you remember? I don't know.
All the Psalms sound the same to me.
No, they don't.
Oh Lord, I'm in my sickness. Oh Lord, my God.
But yeah, this is not healthy. This Alani bar, not at all.
Eh?
Yep. It has all sorts of stuff in there that. Anyway, but I bet it's going to taste good. What do you think, James?
Oh, you've had them before. I think I had part of one before. It was pretty good. A lot better than the traditional protein bar. Does this pretend to be a protein bar?
Oh, it's a protein bar.
Well, comes highly recommended, folks. Maybe not for a diet, but
I mean, if you're going to treat yourself after a hike or whatever, James is going to treat himself with some of that.
Well, this is treat enough, I'm telling you. Not that I'm going to relinquish having that chocolate bar. Or relinquish that chocolate bar. Forego having that chocolate bar, I should say. My brain turns to mush after the amount of exercise we did. It's like 6 hours. Then a little more. 7:30 to 1:30. So.
Yeah.
So there are some books that are kind of like for the Old Testament, like the Book of Esther. Tells a story about one of the more enlightened groups to stomp into the Holy Land, the Persians. But according to the account, and folks, this isn't legend, it's myth. It might have legendary aspects or stuff like that. This story about Esther actually would have happened. It's just the number of people that the Jews were allowed to kill is way exaggerated. But anyone who trusts the numbers in the Old Testament is hopeless. And that's accent on the last syllable, on the last. Amazing, I caught that.
Yeah.
I'm so clumsy nowadays. I have to get used to the idea I'm going to be dropping things. Anyway, I have to do a ton of cleanup before we head out of here. I don't want to be feeding the chipmunks. Well, I do want to be, but not in the national park.
And yeah, there are protein bars with way less carbs, but so far this is the tastiest one that I've tried.
Well, it's got some nuts in there, doesn't it?
I don't even want to look at the ingredients. Yeah, there's peanut flour and peanut butter in it. And vegetable glycerin. You know you need that. All sorts of things in there.
Who invented peanut butter? Was that supposed to be George Washington Carver? One of the heroes of Black history when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays it's idiots like Malcolm X and Stokely Carmichael, Angela Davis. Pitiful.
I don't think you need any more. I see you have chunks of carrot there. You say you want more, but there's little pieces there. Okay, one more.
Yeah, you folks out there who keep on saying, and there's tons of you guys, that Malcolm X was assassinated by the right wing, just like JFK and RFK, Martin Luther King. He was killed by fellow African Americans called the Black Muslims. Muhammad Ali, that stupid idiot, used to belong to Black Muslims. He never said much about them. He was lucky to get away with quitting them. He was frightened to death of them. He knew. So wake up. If someone that stupid can figure that out, hopefully you can too. Particularly guys with and gals with PhDs. The Book of Esther shows how even relatively enlightened administrations can be prone to Judeophobia. I kind of like the Book of Ruth, one of the ancestors of King David, and short, maybe 4 chapters. I've translated my university career, the Book of Esther, Book of Ruth, half of the Book of Exodus, all of the Book of Joel. I think there's maybe only 4 chapters there, maybe 5.
Okay.
The Book of Ezra, folks, don't try that on a soporific. You'll be asleep. Remember all the listing of the people that came back from Babylon? Well,
Yeah. Why is that in there?
it's basically history.
It's really
History to
boring
large extent
history
is
that
names
wants to
and
know.
dates, right?
Yeah.
Not good on the dates, but lots of names. People you never want to know about. The worst book is possibly Numbers.
Yeah.
It's kind of supposed to be a lot of it, at least censuses. So get ready, folks.
All right. Well, that's it.
Good. All over and done.
Yep.